Hello. Today in entertainment, we're going to talk about some of the trending series of the moment.
These series aren't just trending for the ratings, but because they show how the British society evolved over the years with its respective storylines.
And each one of these series can be seen in streaming apps like Netflix or Prime Video.
Hi, my name is Alan. We are going to speak about The Crown with my parent Emilio. Finally finished the last season of The Crown, the acting, the customs, top tier entertainment.
It is, but for me, it's much more than that. It's like a time machine showing the evolution of the UK itself through the 20th century.
Evolution? How?
Think about the first season. It started right after the World War II. The UK is a declining empire. Everything is rigid, and in the crown represents that unchanging tradition. But the world changed, and the series show how the monarchy and the country are forced to change with it.
Like the Grey Sam episode?
Exactly. The episode is brilliant. It shows the government initial incompetence in a modern environment crisis. It led to the Clean Air Act. The series used personal drama to show a turning point in Britain's social policy.
So it's not the place there, Rema?
No, it's how outside events affect everything inside. The Cold War, Thatcher's arrival in the 80s, it connects the royal family private life with the environment that defend the modern British identity.
And social change to the right?
Yes, the evolution of the evolution of social norms, sexuality, divorce, and the role of woman for the rigid 50s etiquette to the relative openness of the 90s with Diana. The monarchy symbolized that constant struggle between tradition and modernization.
So it's about adaptation?
Precisely, when we see the Queen adapting to television or dealing with the press, we're seeing the whole nation navigating those same changes. It makes you feel the pressure of that transformation.
I see differently now. It's now just about the scandals.
That's the magic. It's entertainment with substance. The story of how Britain stopped being a Victorian empire and become the complex multicultural nation it is today.
Hello guys, my name is Silvestre and me and my friend Emilio were gonna talk about the series called Downtown Abbey. This series takes place in the 19,000s in Britain during the early 19,000s, a time when the country was going through a lot of changes, like through the major social, economic, and the political changes. In the series, it was the end of the Victorian era and the beginning like of a more modern world. The old class system was starting to weaken, and new technologies were appearing too, and big historical events like the Titanic disaster and the First World War were shaping everyday life. The series uses this context to show how the British society was transforming and how the families like the aristocratic Crawleys, the main characters, had to adapt to a world that was slowly leaving the old traditions behind.
The story follows the Crawley family and the servants who run their estate at Downton Abbey. The main characters include Lord Grantham, his American wife Lady Cora, and their daughters Mary, Edith, and Sybil, each with their own struggles and storylines. But the downstairs stuff is just as important as characters like Mr. Carson, Mr. Hughes, Anna, and Bates show the realities of working life and loyalty during that era. The series explores love, duty, class conflict, and the connection between the people who live upstairs and those who serve below. In the end, Downton Abbey is a story about change, about how society evolved, and how both families and workers find their place in a world that's rapidly shifting.
The series starts in 1957 popular East End London, with nurse Jenny Lee joining the midwives at Nonatu's house. Early seasons focus on extreme poverty, housing crisis, and the post-war baby boom. The show quickly moves into the 60s. The midwives face social change, new medical challenges, and the evolution of the NHS. Key nurses like Jenny and Chomi leave and new ones arrive. The overall story is about the team adapting to a changing world, tackling issues like mental health and domestic violence, while remaining the vital heart of their struggling community.
Through seasons 7 through 12 of Cal the Midwife, Nonato's house undergoes profound social, emotional, and medical change that shape the future of the popular neighborhood and Altus would depend on in service. The story progresses from the mid 1960, when Sister Mildred and a group of refugee children from Hong Kong arrived, introducing new responsibilities and challenges for the nurse. Trixie goes through a painful period as she confronts her alcoholism and decides to step away temporarily, while Lucille integrates herself solidly as a nurse, becoming a key figure due to her empathy and professionalism.
Last but not least, if you want to watch a series with an amount of family business, along with crimes, deals, and a lot of money at stake after the Great War, Peaky Blinders might be for you.
In Birmingham, England, in 1919, we follow the story of the head of the Peaky Blinders criminal gang, of which his family is a part. They are involved in various illicit business with the aim of controlling them, all while living in industrial England, dealing with the police and those who have power who stood in their way.
This is just one part of the complete plot that lasted 6 seasons, showing how they made their way in an England that was just learning how to survive or live after the Great War. If you want to know more about this, we invite you to see how the story turned out to be.